Mm. Okay, last year, as you all know, it was a year of downturn. The industry was not doing well. Many of the services companies did not go on campus for recruitment. Even if they have gone, their hiring numbers were less than 100. You can check with any of the services companies that gone on campus. So TCS started offering three profiles, which is Ninja, Digital, and Prime. And the recruitments for the last year were a little late because of the downturn. They usually do the recruitment sometime in August, September. They did that in January, February during that time frame, and still the process is going on. We are awaiting the results of your senior students who graduated. But having told that, actually, the last year also they have made 1,476 offers to VIT, which is again highest in the country. So we would like to thank them for coming over here and supporting us here on here. So they are a glimmer of hope for the entire student community of India. So they are here to hire. We'll be having the hiring session starting shortly in a couple of weeks. The registration will start after this talk. So I would like to invite Ms. Nivedita to take over, introduce the guest, and start with the presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, and thank you everybody for this rounding, overwhelming applause as well. So before we begin, I have two quotes that I want to state before we begin. So in the world of ideas, everything is possible, said Albert Einstein. Isn't that so true? There's one more eminent personality who said, dream, dream, dream. Dream transform into thoughts, and thoughts result in action. Any guesses who would have said this? I can hear some noises. Yeah, it was said by our Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Two different personalities, differentiated by geography, time, but yet they shared something very common amongst them, which which is the which is their passion for science, a deep rooted belief in the power of education, and their unwavering commitment to society and humanity. So is the collaboration between TCS and VIT. A very good morning to all of you gathered here. It's an immense pleasure and honor always to be back to the VIT. These are the days when we cherish interacting with these bright minds of the future. With that, I am Nivedita. I'm part of the TCS HR team, and I'm your host and buddy for the day. Before we begin, I would like to thank the Chancellor, the Vice Chancellor, President, Pro Vice Chancellor, Director CDC, and the entire management of VIT for inviting us to interact with you all. So today is just not any event. It is a powerful celebration of a powerful alliance between two giants of excellence, which is VIT, of course, and TCS. Our gathering here symbolizes a fusion of knowledge, vision, and innovation. Both TCS and VIT are prominent names in our respective fields, but we still share a lot of things in common, which include our focus on technology and innovation, our emphasis on talent development, and commitment to social responsibility. The collaboration between TCS and VIT has been significant for creating a robust ecosystem for the students, early talent identification, building talent pipeline, and promoting research and innovation. At TCS, we've been elated and honored to have many of your alumni as core TCSers who have been architects and integral part of the company's success as well. So coming to this event today, why do you think we have gathered here? Some guesses from the audience? Your voice is slowly going up, but maybe some more. Why have we gathered here today? Okay. So you see two people on the dais and you're here to interact with them. Yes. Isn't that very exciting? So you're excited for the day? Wonderful. That is what we at TCS also feel. We are also equally excited to meet all of you and seize the opportunity to interact with all of you. So coming to this, it is very, very exciting because we are about to interact with two eminent leaders of TCS. And this is an initiative to strengthen our collaboration and continuous engagement with VIT. The more we learn, the more we realize how much there is to know. Let us embrace the journey of discovery together and share our knowledge. But before we delve into the session, for many of us, the word Tata is more than a brand. In my view, the part of being part of the Tata family is more an emotion than anything else. Now let's just catch a glimpse of what the world of Tata is and the services we offer. Please sit back and enjoy the video.
In 1868, the Tata Group was founded on a philosophy that put the community at the heart of its existence. Today, we are a $150 billion global enterprise. Our today has been built on enduring values. Our today is about delivering excellence across business sectors. Our today is about building a future-ready nation. Our today has a strong foundation with community at its core. Our today is dedicated to the communities we serve. Our today is always about more than just today. Our today is a continuous journey for a better tomorrow. Tata, leadership with trust. In 18...
Huge round of applause. I probably have seen what the Tata is about for many years while being part of TCS. Even today, when I see that video, all that I feel is wow. Such an honor and pride to be associated with the Tata family as well as the Tata Group through TCS. So without further ado, it is my absolute privilege to introduce our guest speaker for the day, Mr. Shankar Narayanan. Shankar serves as the business head for banking, financial services, and insurance for UK, EMEA, and APAC region. Earlier, Shankar led a group of businesses that included retail and consumer goods, travel, transportation, and other business segments. From 2011 to 2019, Shankar served as the head of the UK and Ireland region, responsible for driving business strategy, sales, and operation, as well as managing customer, community, government, and executive relationships in the region. Shankar was instrumental in managing some of the company's successful client engagements and spent considerable time in establishing TCS's leadership position in retail and consumer goods for UK and continental Europe. Shankar joined in 1993 after earning a
are now part of the Tata Group, driving the globalization of this group. Many of these brands have retained their identity. So even if you go to the UK, many people won't even recognize that some of these brands are part of the Tata Group. So the group has ensured that all of these brands retain their identity while making sure that they provide the best possible leadership for these groups to achieve their purpose and the greatness in what they deliver. So the group continues to expand its horizons globally. Some of the businesses that you've seen, semiconductors, are relatively new. Electronics are relatively new. So we are expanding into segments. Similarly, we have launched the EV battery manufacturing, both in India as well as the UK. With the advent of electric cars, the demand for the EV batteries are going to be significantly higher. And with a view to drive that business forward, these units have been set up, right? So the group's aspirations are really phenomenal. The needs are really phenomenal. And as we work with this group, we also have the opportunity to be an integral part of the society and play a very active role in driving the community, welfare and its growth, right? Now, coming to the company that I am part of, which is Tata Consultancy Services. It's one of the operating companies inside the group. And this company itself is made of more than 6 lakhs employees as we speak today. We have a revenue of roughly $30 billion and with a profit margin of over 25%, right? If you look at this holistically in terms of its employee size, in terms of its revenues, and in terms of margins, in this industry, no other company can match this these combinatorial metrics. And if I add one more aspect of it, the market capitalization. The market capitalization is, when we are publicly listed, what is the valuation, of this company? The company is valued by the investor community at just under 200 billion as we speak today, right? So with the revenues of $30 billion and with the market capitalization of just under $200 billion, that multiple is between 6 and 7, right? Very, very few companies enjoy that kind of a multiple in the whole world, right? So you can look at Apple, you can look at Microsoft. These are the kinds of companies that can enjoy the multiple that you have. So in terms of the revenue multiple in the segment that we are operating in, we are number one worldwide, right? Now, these are numbers. Numbers speak for themselves. And what these means is, when the market capitalization is so high, the investors really believe in what this company will achieve over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So while we've been in existence for 50 years, we still believe that what we have achieved in the industry is very small compared to what is possible, right? And I'll define, what we mean by that. Today, technology is mainstream. Technology used to be an enabler. Technology used to provide information to businesses for delivering what they wanted. But today, technology is an integral part of every business. Whichever industry that you're going in, technology is mainstream, right? So the demand for technology is so high. The need for being aware, of programming is inevitable regardless of which industry you're operating in. Now, you can specialize in programming, you can specialize in data, you can specialize in AI, ML, but every industry, whether it's electronics, whether it is mechanical, you need to have a basic awareness of programming languages because you're going to be using them on a regular basis, right? With this being mainstream, every industry that we are serving, right? So we are in the services business, right? Tata Consultancy Services is a services business. So we service almost every other sectors, whether it is, I represent banking financial services. So my responsibility is to ensure that we create new customers and we serve customers in the banking financial services and insurance industry and ensure that we are able to provide IT services, banking, financial industry, financial services, and insurance solutions very contextualized for what they want to do, right? So if they want to launch a mobile banking product, if they want to launch an insurance product, how do we conceptualize what that product should do for its customers? And how do we bring technology to bear? And how do we make sure that that is implemented and the customers are serviced effectively, right? So that is one segment. Then if you extend into that, the retail and consumer goods segment, the travel, transportation, hospitality segment, life sciences, healthcare, right? We service customers in each one of these segments, right? So we have more than 1,000 customers that we service to earn revenues of about $30 billion. And as we develop relationships with these customers, we deliver a lot of projects to help them launch products. We also manage their information technology investments, and we continue to make sure that we keep them up to date, to keep them at their cutting edge. When they have new products and services, when there is a new technological revolution that is coming in, for example, the last few years, every industry is navigating a digital transformation, right? So all of us here may not appreciate it, but how many of us or our previous generations were comfortable browsing information online and being able to transact online, right? So that transformation is something that we've seen, right? We have to transform these systems. We have to transform these processes. A lot of the companies have invested in many technologies who are dated, right? If you need to modernize them, it needs to be completely, all the debt, technology debt, as we call it, needs to be completely eliminated and build something new. It's not going to be easy, right? There is going to be a regulatory, issue. People are going to, look at you and make sure that, your existing services are not disrupted, and you're able to, move all of these technologies and processes to cater to some of the new generation needs, right? So we're all now today comfortable browsing online, making sure that we are able to start the transaction somewhere, at home on an online, and then continuing the transaction on our mobile and completing the transformation in a branch or in a store or, whatever it may be. So we need to make sure that technology works across, your desktop, across your, online screens, across your, mobile, and the performance and everything else is not compromised. Data is not compromised. The data that you see online and the data you see on mobile, all of them are linked together. So all of this, requires a huge amount of, expertise, and that will only continue to grow. Today, we are talking about AI and machine learning. There is a huge amount of hype in generative AI, right? I mean, today it is a hype. A lot of the customers that we are working with, we are experimenting on what generative AI can do for them. How can they help in answering customer service calls better? How can they help summarize a call better, summarize a number of documents, for an ease of reference a lot better? How can it generate content? How can it generate presentations and increase the productivity? How can it generate a software code that can, that you can enhance over a period of time? So there is a lot of potential. There is a lot of, hype at this point of time, but we're trying to see, how do we contextualize it? How do we make it real, for our customers? So there is a huge demand, on technology. And as a result of that, despite us being $30 billion, and despite us being the second largest in terms of revenues globally, we just have 2% market share. The remaining 98% is up for grabs. Yes, many of the other companies will add up to another 10, 15%, 20%, but the remaining 80%, right, is either being done in a very small, fragmented way. It is being done by customers themselves who struggle to attract talent. And that is an opportunity for us to go after. So the hunger, the appetite for every one of us within TCS is so high. The aspiration is so high that we really want, to drive our business a lot faster and make, our customers a lot better in what they can, serve their end consumers. That is the opportunity. So we've been very fortunate, to be an employer of choice. at VIT. We continue to have a huge demand, for technology. We add nearly 40,000 or 50,000 people every year, and VIT has produced some of the finest talent for us. Many of your alumni have gone on to do wonderful things within TCS. They are enjoying very important roles. They are performing extremely important transformative work, and there is a need for us to do a lot more in driving value to this industry, right? So my key thing would be to tell you all that what you've learned so far is only a beginning. In TCS, you can be extremely successful if you build on this foundation and if you keep the hunger to continuously learn and adapt within the organization. The technology will change rapidly. The technology, when we started our careers 30 years ago, the speed at which technology changes, was probably measured in decades. Today, the speed at which technology is evolving is measured in years, if not months. So you've got to be able to keep that hunger for learning, and you've got to be able to build on what you know already today, whether it is the end customer's business or, as technology evolves, how do you continuously upskill yourself, add newer skills to yourself, and that will help you progress in your career extremely well. We have a lot of people inside TCS who made their career, and many of them, like me, have joined TCS after graduating from the university and have never had to look elsewhere. So personally, I had the opportunity to play a number of roles. I started as a developer within TCS. I moved on to designing software for financial services firms. I managed projects and programs. I managed business relationships. I have done sales. I have done market development. I have led TCS's business in countries before managing the TCS services to retail consumer goods and travel transportation prior to this role, and now in the banking, financial services, and insurance. So the number of roles that I've performed in the last 30 years is enormous. Equally, I've worked in many cities. I've worked in Chennai, I've worked in Mumbai, I've worked in Stockholm, I've worked in Minneapolis in the US, I've worked in London, I've worked in Amsterdam, and currently I'm based in London, right? So the opportunities that we give to our associates is enormous. So we typically recommend that each one of our associates continue to change their roles, upskill their roles, move up their roles in a period of 2 to 3 years. We encourage our people to explore and exploit opportunities across cities, across geographies, across different industries, different technologies, different type of projects. So you have a well-rounded experience. And each one of these projects, each one of these opportunities brings with it tremendous amount of learning, your ability to understand the various challenges and be able to overcome those challenges working as a team, and also understand the various cultures globally and nationally. That is really the opportunity that each one of you have. So I really wish all of you great success. I would love to see as many of you within TCS to be a part of our teams as we work through the remainder of the process. I really want to wish you, all the very best in your career. And I will stop here and I will answer any questions you may have at a later point of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shankar, for sharing your experiences and insights. I am able to relate to what he said because I experienced that day in and day out. You ask for something in TCS, you never get to hear a no. So that's something that I share as part of my experience. And I'm sure this has inspired a lot of you. And you also understand the plethora of opportunities that the organization has to offer the budding minds of tomorrow. It's now time for us to dive into the world of TCS. Stay tuned for the video coming up. Again, the video just makes you feel wow. But as I said, once you're a TCSer, you're always a TCSer at heart. And I'm sure both the Tata and the TCS videos share and convey the emotion, what we feel being part of this great family and this giant family. Next up, it's my pleasure to introduce our next guest speaker for the day, Mr. Sudeep. Sudeep is a vibrant personality who has explored the length and breadth of HR. He is currently the head of human resources for banking, financial services, and insurance vertical of TCS, which has above 160,000 employees globally. Sudeep has been associated with TCS for the last 24 years amongst his 3 decades of HR experience. No further ado, may I now hand over the dais to Mr. Sudeep. Sudeep, over to you.
Good morning. Thank you, Nivedita. Thanks, Shankar. Always inspiring to listen to you. And very good morning. Make some noise. Chennai, then where is Chennai campus? Can't hear them. And I know Amravati is logged in as well, and so is Gopal. So a very good morning to every one of you. It's a honor and privilege to be here. I think it's my 15th or 16th year association coming for campus hiring to VIT. So I've seen how VIT has grown. I've been able to see a lot of your seniors, and it's always a lot of nostalgia and a real honor to be part of the campus hiring process and not just interacting and visiting campuses. But I'm very happy to also share that TCS is actually launching the campus hiring for the academic year 24-25 now, and we are launching it with this campus drive here. So we're actually launching it nationwide with VIT, right? So it's great to be here, right? And obviously, right? So I'll come straight, and we need to use best time for the interactions with Shankar and for you to do, but very quickly, right? See, I want to just demystify some simple things, and let's be very candid in our conversations here. Whenever I ask you, are you interested to join TCS, right? The first thing is maybe, yeah, salary is not good enough. Correct? Yes, I can see agreeing. I like the honesty. Okay, so we have done our best. So we have 2-3 tiers, which I'll bring it up here, and every one of you are eligible to be part of the tier, and I'll explain to it. So salary becomes a very critical, right? I'm sure everyone want that 1 crore up salary, right? And we are doing our best. Yes, but that's for the select few, but eventually we will settle in for what we feel is best for us. So we'll talk about it. But see, I'll tell you one few things, right? All of you are the millennials, Gen Z part of it, right? And all of you are on Insta, right? And social media, right? You spend a good majority of your time. See, I read this great quote somewhere, and I always quote this everywhere. See, social media helps us bring our friends closer, correct? And family. You agree? That's great. But what it also does, it brings our enemies even more closer. Right? So every time you are on an X, you get something, you comment, sometimes there are someone else to actually bash you up. Or we go and bash someone else, right? We don't even know who that person is. But just because I don't agree, do that. But see, the reason why I bring it up here is, see, you have a lot of things that you hear from social media and things, right? But what I want to tell you is always talk to the right people, verify facts, and then make a decision, right? And here is an opportunity that I have for the next 10 minutes to get you that perceptions right. And never go with what your friends tell you or do it, because whatever I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you with absolute honesty. And what I have experienced in the last 24 my years of careers, what you heard from Shankar, what he has experienced in the last 3 decades with TCS, right? And it's a brilliant organization, and it's a beautiful organization. But I'll tell you broadly for you to make a selection of what company, because you're going to be now having, I saw close to companies come in. You have to pick your right picks, right, about what it is. And each of you are a gem, and you have a clear plan for what you want in your life. So, but few things, right? More important, obviously, salary is important. Work-life balance. I saw a recent survey that Randstad did. Work-life balance is very important, and that's a very critical criteria. So I'll talk about that as well. The type of role that you do, right? And what are the roles, and the opportunity to be able to do different roles are very important for all of you, right? And these are very critical things, and they are very personal. But then what brings the organization, right? And everyone wants to work for a pioneering and a leader organization. Correct? All of you want to work for the best company who's a leader? Yes, great. So I'll talk about how TCS stacks up, right? How many of you believe purpose and sustainability, right, of an organization is very important? Not just about doing good profits, but also doing it responsibly, but also taking care of the people in need. How many of you think it's important? Right? Brilliant. I see almost all the entire, every one of you. Right? Again, I'll talk about it, how TCS stands, right? India is on a fantastic roll, right? The fastest growing. Now, how many of you feel that we need to work for a company that helps makes India the best in the future? Great. I'll give you some stories about how we do that. How many of you feel that irrespective of whatever you are, whatever choices you make in life, that's very personal, you still feel safe, comfortable, and included wherever you go to a workplace is very important. So the inclusivity element of it. How many of you feel that way? Perfect. Great. So I'll talk about how we are the best around there. How many of you feel care? Employee care is very important so that whenever good things, I'm sure there are a lot of people who will be around you. When things goes bad, there's someone who really holds you, whom you feel, a company that really holds you when you really are need care, right? And that is a very critical element as well. So employee care, and obviously what Shankar talked about, learning, adaptability, and unparalleled investments in things. Did I list out fairly the critical things that are very important for any one of us? Right? And then you just put these filters to be able to make the choices, right? I'll very quickly run through, right? I'll come back. So recently, right, LinkedIn and a very independent company called Randstad, it's a global, very search firm, manpower resource company. They just polled almost 150,000 employees across the globe. And if you just Google it up, right, again, Randstad, best employer. And it was completely democratic and they ranked. And one of the few criteria was industrial leadership, stability, and work-life balance become very important in that, right? And they gave that maximum weightage to that. And they ranked, and TCS was ranked, right, number 2 in that company. Right? So it was not something that we influenced. It was done very, very democratically. So that's where we are. And LinkedIn, right? All of us know LinkedIn, right? And it was a very trusted. They do their own survey through the analytics and part of it and what people comment, and they publish the best employer, right? Last 2 consecutive years, TCS has been ranked the best employer across industries by LinkedIn. Okay, so all I want to tell you is you may have heard, oh, we are the bulk recruiter, they come do all these things. But when employees are ranking us the number 1, very recognized external third parties are recognizing, we stand for something very important, right? That's what it is. So coming back, right? As I said, work-life balance, all of us have very life moments and we put an extreme focus on work-life balance. The roles and opportunities, I don't want to dwell more into details, because not just into technology, because technology, like what Shankar said, is core to any organization today, plus the breadth of services in industries that we work for, right? From any manufacturing company to a high-end aviation to anything, the type of technology and opportunity that all of you, irrespective of whichever domain that you're studying, right, or discipline you're studying, you have an opportunity to use your core and still be able to leverage technology to be able to help that organization. So if you really rank, right, 9 out of the top 10 of Fortune 10 companies are with us as customers, right? So that way it gives you a great playground to be able to explore and get that part of it. And we encourage rotations, we encourage fluidity. So between domain, between technology, we want on an average 2 years, you move on and try new things. So it gives you a dimension of domain, technology, geographies that you can work with, right? So that's really what we encourage. And that's why we are able to come with our industry leading, right, retention rates. So we have been always the best retention in terms of any organizations across, right? In India, I can tell you with a lot more confidence. Now, coming to leader and pioneering, right? I just want to ask you a question. Do you think which company started or was the pioneer of IT in India? Which one was that? Can't hear you. TCS? How many of you think it is Infosys? Okay. How many of you think it's Wipro? So it's only between TCS. How many of you think? Okay, still not sure. Okay, great. So, but the answer is this. TCS pioneered Indian IT industry, right, in 1968, right? So that's almost 56 years ago. And leaders like Shankar and others, when India was not in the IT world map, we had the confidence that we can build the best IT systems for the world-class companies. And we still continue to do that. right? So today, if every company in the world, their board is not happy. And this was actually triggered by a vision that the Tata Group had 55 years ago. So that's what we have done. And from then, right, we have been the #1 Indian IT services ever. Never position. Right? So the simple thing is, see, I know most of you, 4 years of engineering, 12 years of school, so 16 years. How many of you have always got first rank all the 16 years? Only one hand. Only one, all 16 years first rank. Very good. Give a round of applause. We scored #1 rank 56 years. Right? That's what it is. That's what we are. And we continue, and thanks to people like you, thanks to the institute like you, which gives you the best of the people who come and build this. It's not us, right? It's collectively all of us who make this happen. And we continue to pioneer and steer the industry in terms of, and we are adaptable, we are nimble, and we adapt to the various things, right? And that is what it is. So please, again, you can Google it up, validate everything that I say, okay? Don't trust me because of course, that's the generation you are. So go and validate that part of it, right? Nation building, right? You saw the story. I don't think there's any other organization. See, one is putting IT and India in the center of digital for the world. That's one great. And today, the biggest employment industry is the IT and IT services company, correct? And gives huge opportunity for employment and what it is. But not just that, right? Today, if you really look at it from almost, right, 1 billion citizens, because you don't experience this. We are not a B2C customer employer, right? So you are more, we do a lot more to serve bank, from a company to a company we provide. So I can tell you today, every day, over 1 billion people who use any technology in the country transact a TCS developed application. That's the impact that we make. Be it all the big banks, they are part of it. If you are talking about stock trading, there is no stock transaction which happens in any exchange without it being transacted through a TCS build system. Right? Your UPay, right? UPI that we do, the foundations and a lot of things from including how we verify customers and everything, you get the payment, the backbone was built to a great extent by TCS. You don't never get to know about these things, but a lot of these things are built by the engineers like you who come and have built these world-class applications. So that's the impact that we do from nation building and what it is, right? And the most important part, you must have seen in that video, right? Our very strong sense of purpose as a company that we had, which is, right? It's about giving community is the biggest stakeholder and not just, right, the purpose of Rexis. So it's a very, very important stakeholder for us. So for example, TCS makes $1 profit. Almost 45 cents of that money goes to philanthropy, structurally. So today, globally, you don't find Mr. Tata as the richest person because a lot of his properties are held by trust, which goes to give back to the community. So for me personally, it's not about I'm making someone wealthiest and making the richest person in the world, in the 4 richest, but actually when I work hard, I help my company. It's like going back to someone who's in need and helping them live a better life. And that way, right? Today you may not read it. Again, Google up. Tata Group is the world's largest philanthropic organization. Right? So that's the part of it. And then I'm going to talk about all the nation building I talked, inclusive. We are the India's largest employer of women. Right? We have close to 230,000 people who are women employees workers, and they continue, and the retention rates are best, which means our policies, our benefits, the way we take care of the growth opportunities for our women leaders, associates, is unparalleled again, and that's why we find, right, them part of it. So again, inclusion, diversity are very big part of it. Employee care, I'll talk about the insurance. They are again the benchmark right? In pandemic, it was tough, right? Many of us have seen very difficult things, very close quarters, right? And I think they still are very strong in our memories. So we ran one of the largest vaccination camps for our employees, their families, in almost 300 cities to take care of them. We had our own offices being translated into or converted into COVID care centers. So really we go up and much beyond to really take care of the employees. And that's why I said, when things get tough, TCS goes beyond to really take care of our employees and their families. And that's something that I can really vouch for and tell you that through my experience, that's been one very, very important part of it, right? And more important, learning. We always have pioneered learning, like be it our initial learning program, we have it in campus where we do 3 months, to giving the best of the learning infrastructure that any organization could give. And it is absolutely democratized. When I mean democratized, any one of us can use it, consume any great content, be it from LinkedIn Learning or Udemy to the best, and very strong curated content that you can constantly use to be able to. So almost an average 20 minutes per day is the consumption by every associates because of the pull factor that the learning platform facilitates. So these are again unparalleled. So these are some of the things that comes to you when you join TCS, right? Does that make sense? You like it? Make some noise if you like it. Fantastic. Great. So I will quickly jump into the slides to give you, since we are kickstarting the campus hiring as well for us. So the placement team will send you the links, but just to give you a quick idea, right? So we have 3 tiers, as I said you. This is our Ninja tier, which all of us, for the 3.36 and 3 points. Everyone will go through a common exam. All of you will have to be registered. So make sure you register in that. And you will get, it's going to be an online exams. And in the exam itself, we tier you based on what is, I'll tell you what the exam covers. So this is the Ninja part of it. Then we have the digital, right? Which is again, the 7 and 7.43 lakhs that we offer, right? And then we have the prime, which we introduced last year. And again, this is again 9 lakhs for the UGs and the 11.5 lakhs for the postgraduate, right? So these are the tiers that we have. And it's a common examination. All of you are entitled for it. Your performance in your written test, right, is going to be deciding on how we shortlist you for these part of it. Okay. So this is the most critical one. So I think there is no number restrictions or what it is. Every deserving person, we want to get to the prime of. That's what it is, right? And we want to really see how we can maximize. This is the process, and I'm sure your placement leaders will help you through the whole thing. So you have the TCS registration there, right? And then this is the integrated package. So you have the numerical ability. That's the foundation part of it, right? The verbal ability and the reasoning. And then you have for the advanced section where we make those filters for the digital and ninja, you have the advanced cons and reasoning and the advanced coding there, right? So this is where it is. Follow that, we will publish the results and then we'll come in campus for interviews, right? And we will do it here. We'll come to your campus in person and you will have an opportunity to interact with leaders who will practitioners who will do that. And after that, within a week's time, once we shortlist, we will get your offer letters, right? And as we speak, we always have the reputation of any offer that we make, we onboard, right? And the other thing that I want to also let you know is some of you may get digital offer, but we will also give you another opportunity before you graduate out to actually upgrade your offer to digital and prime. So it's just not once, right? And no other company does this. Only TCS does. So once we do this, we'll again give you, so you've got a feel on, you can again write and again do it. And then after you graduate, you will again get an opportunity. And once you join TCS, you continue to get this opportunity, right? So it's always about us helping you to step forward, right? So that's how the opportunity happens. And then when you clear these comp related things changes, right? The eligibility criteria, I'm not going to read it out. You will get this as an email. So, right, it is, where we have, right? Again, these are more details. Yes, we can move on. And some of the benefits are here, right? I talked about it in part of it, but again, some of the benefits that we as a company offer. How many of you have a friend, cousin, brother, sister with TCS? a lot of you, ask them. Okay, and they'll tell you how our benefits are so unique, how they're different from many organizations, and they are world class, right? So this is very broadly. So again, thank you very much for your listening. I know you are very eager for the interaction, but I thought I had this opportunity, and I really look forward you giving your best shot with TCS and exploring the journey with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sudeep. I can see a lot of curious faces, right? Are you guys curious now? Now you've heard Shankar speak about his experience, about his journey in TCS, and you have heard Sudeep talk about his journey in TCS and what we have to offer. So I'm sure you should have got more than hundreds of questions in your mind now, right? Yes? If it's going to be a silent session, probably we may not like it. It has to be interesting, right? Make some noise. Okay, so with that, I would like to announce the floor open for the fireside chat segment. So between Shankar and Sudeep, we have decades of experience. They have seen the greatest amount of change in society, in technology. You name it, they have seen the transformation from what it was to what it is today. So let your thoughts and questions flow over to the audience and the panel today for the chat. So over to the audience for the questions.
Questions?
Just raise your hands up and we'll get a mic to you. And please to introduce yourself when you're asking the question.
Good morning, sir. My name is Simon. Sir, as a student, I just want to ask you how to choose my career path in TCS.
See, I think you should choose what you like to do, right? Now you have done your 4 years engineering, right? You should have fairly made up your mind saying, these are the domain that I want to have interest, right? Or these are the technology that I want to do it, right? And if that is something that you have already done and you've done a lot of projects in that area, or you've been part of those labs, then follow the stream. As I said, we have the breadth of technologies and the domains in that we can offer you a career in. But if you're not that planned and you have not thought about it, just come with a very open mind that you want to just learn, explore, you want to get a good hands-on, and maybe in the first 2 years, try a few things and then make my mind. In both these journeys, we will help you. Right? So that is how I should look at it. And you should see how we want to do it. Right? But as that prelim to that, it's a very important that how you clear, right? And get to across the interview process and the selection process. So there, please be in discussion with your placement leaders and whatever and the professors, whatever they guide you, so that you can go through. And I'm sure there are enough content in the YouTube and social media, so you can again verified content even in our own TCS portal, and you can use that to be able to do well and prepare well for the written test and interview.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Dipanshu. I want to ask a question regarding how can I switch from management to engineering, engineering to management in TCS?
I think it's a question of developing some basic experience, right? So if you've been in engineering and I would recommend that you spend your early part of the career focusing on the various engineering aspects, whether it is about developing software, whether it's about managing software, or whether it's about migrating or driving certain transformations and so on, right? So I would recommend that you spend the first few years, and it doesn't make sense to say it's 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. At the appropriate point of time based on your aspirations. One of the things that we do, is to continuously assess you, continuously guide you in terms of what your career choices can be at various points of time. So as Sudeep talked about, there is one entry-level guidance, either if you're clear on what you're doing, what you want to do, or, you want guidance, we will help you. But you will have a supervisor, you will have HR, you will have mentors inside TCS who are going to be responsible for guiding you through the career, right? So you will have an aspiration and you will have a skill, right? And you will have you will have a continuous assessment. And at the appropriate point of time, we'll help you, migrate from the technical or functional roles into the management roles, right? So there is a process for it, and we will guide you through the process.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
Hello, I'm Pratik Mishra. I'm actually sitting at Channa Reddy, not at Naudi. My question is, I recently attended a paid TCS NQT. I got my scorecard, and yesterday I got a mail to apply on the Next Step portal. So, what would be the process for me? Should I re-register for the current NQT or not?
Yes, you should. So because there are two versions of National Qualifier Test. One that we do to assess students as overall across and then provide services as an employee to companies. And then we do TCS NQT for specific for TCS. So if you have done that for an overall part of it. But the ones that we do for campus is different and very specific. So please, yes, you have to register for this particular link that you will get from your placement department, and you have to be part of the process to be able to do that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Akash. Sir, actually, I wanted to ask you, since technology is moving very fast every day, so what do you expect in next 2 to 5 years to be the most trending technology?
So I think if you look at the digital transformation, right? So all organizations are navigating through the digital transformation, right? So how do you move from a traditional batch or an offline mode to an online and multi-channel enablement? And all technologies that enable our businesses to provide a very, very enriching, engaging customer experience are all going to be trendy, right? So there is huge amount of investment that is happening across the world, right? Every business is navigating where they start from, and the journey is unique because they have to weigh in their customers, their products, their technology, and so on. But everybody is investing in that, right? The second aspect is, with respect to data, AI, machine learning, right? All of that is extremely, prominent. So earlier, we used to collect tons and tons of data. Today, it's voice data, image data, and so on. It's petabytes and, even, multiples of petabytes of data that we are dealing with. And the technologies are available to make sense of it and provide the information insights for the businesses to act on them and provide an even greater experience. So that's anything associated with data, AI, ML, all of that is going to be extremely trendy in the, going forward. And there will be many things. Quantum computing is something that, there is enormous amount of experimentation that is going on. Some of these things will come in. Typically, you will have many analysts that provide the hype cycles, right? So you should look at Gartner's hype cycle, right? Gartner, if you search for it, Gartner's hype cycle will tell you, it's typically, you'll have a curve that goes like this and tells you, what part of the hype cycle it is, right? So everything starts with the hype, then, industry starts piloting, things moderate, and then it reaches a certain level of saturation, right? And at that point of time, things will be normal, right? Or things will go completely out of circulation, right? So that's the curve to monitor, completely. But the examples that I gave you are definitely some things that are going to be there's going to be a lot of investments that are going to take place in the next 3 to 5 years.
And so what do you think about blockchain?
See, blockchain came in with a lot of hype. There is still a lot of experimentation that is going on. The application, of blockchain it hasn't translated into the wide usage across industries. There is still, there's still a lot of areas where it is being used, but not at the scale at which it was envisaged about 2 to 3 years ago. It's still very, very relevant, very, very topical, and there will be activity that will take place, but not at the. I mean, again, it's if you look at the hype cycle that I talked about, it went through the hype cycle. Now it is in a period of saturation, but it will have its own applications at different points of time.
Thank you, sir.
We have a hand up here at the front.
Good morning, sir. I am Rohit. This is regarding the registration process itself. From what I have heard, as I understand it, the registration process hasn't started yet. So does that mean that people who haven't registered for this talk are eligible to register for the registration process as well? Yes. Answer.
No, there is nothing to do with this registration actually. So the registration for the recruitment process will start happening from today afternoon after the pre-placement talk is over. So if you have not registered for this, you can still register for the recruitment process.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So here.
May I request you to stand up so that he'll be able to see you? Yeah.
So good afternoon, sir. My name is Anishwar. So as you mentioned that there's a hype going behind generative AI. So now how much of the domain is being currently explored by TCS and how much do we get to experience firsthand?
Sorry, how much of the?
How much of the domain is being explored by TCS and how much do we get to experience firsthand?
Sure. So, as we speak, there are at least 500 generative AI projects that are being worked upon in TCS. Broadly, they can be classified into two buckets. One is what can generative AI do to improve the productivity and the quality of programming itself. So you have, Microsoft's Copilot and so on. So how do you leverage some of these technologies to automate the software development, to automate testing, right, and so on. So, if it takes 10 days to develop a software and test the software, can it be done in 7 days? Can it be done in 6 days, right? Using, some of these co-pilots and code whisperers and so on and so forth, right? So that's one aspect of it. The second aspect of it is how do you leverage generative AI to create new opportunities in a business scenario? So, for example, if a customer service is answering a phone call, is it possible, for that person to help the end customer with information and insights by doing analysis on all the associated data and providing assistance to the agent? And can that transform the customer experience? This is one example, right? So there are many such, initiatives that are being worked upon. So broadly, about 500 odd projects that are currently taking place. And as you join, by the time, you join, it will be multiples of that. And it is possible that, you could be, playing a role in one of the projects. There is nothing, which stops or enables it as a process. So, and as you join and as you express your interest to work on the types of projects, we will take those inputs into consideration and get you in. But there is currently, a lot of work that is taking place. The issue currently is with respect to generative AI, when I say hype is, because it's still not at a place where you can let the technology run on its own, right? It can still, it can only act as a co-pilot, right? We're still not at a place where, we can leave the technology, to drive the automation on its own and without human intervention. So human needs to be always in the loop, right? So until, we are at a place, can it augment what the humans do? Yes, absolutely. It is not at a place where it can replace what, any of us can do, right? So there is still experimentation going on. We will see how things progress.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, we have one hand going up at the front row. May I request his hand so he'll be able to see?
Hello, sir. I'm Arnav Kaushik. So this is a curiosity. So in the early years of working for TCS, what is the work-life balance like? Like, is it a pressure-free, or will we have to work like 72 hours a week or something like that?
72 hours is by choice. See, when I started, I'll just narrate the experience, right? There is nothing. In those days, there is a little bit of entertainment outside. Now, there's a lot more, right? So we spent a lot of time at work, but not just to work, but have fun. Because pretty much a college type atmosphere that we used to have. And we made a lot of friends. We worked hard. We partied hard. Right? We spent a lot of time. Maybe we spent 50 hours, 60 hours. We didn't measure. But it was by choice. So you can still, there are people who work 72 hours by choice. But we are not going to manage. A lot of flexibility will be there with you. But equally, it's important for you. And many of us, when we spend time at work, when we are developing a software, we used to develop a software, when something is not working or when something needs to be finished and so on, we just apply ourselves, right? And we just can't sleep, because there is a problem, right, with the code, right? That's itself, drive, right? So entirely, up to you. You will have the flexibility. You will have the broad guidance in terms of, 40 hours, 45 hours a work week, right? Is typically what the official, thing is 45 hours, right? Is a work, 45 hours per week, right? It's a guidance. Then rest of that is driven by, projects and so on. And rarely, do we see people, having the need, to work significantly more time, right?
Thank you, sir.
So Chennai, question from Chennai campus.
Sorry.
Question from Chennai campus.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Bhavya Tejpal, and I wanted to ask, like, what are the chances for TCS employees for continuous upskilling? Like, if a student wants to do a higher studies after being an employee, so how can TCS help with that?
So there are two ways of do it. As I said, learning is very, very strong, one of the strong values, right? And a differentiator with TCS. We have two choices. One, we have tie-up with a lot of colleges, right? Even IIT, Chennai, and other colleges internationally, where we do specific upskilling programs. And even then, so you could apply, and there are few seats. And if you are passionate and you got the merit, you can be fully taken care, and we will give you a leave, and then you can do that. That's number one. Second, but you want to pursue your master's and then come back. So once you complete 2 years, we give you the 2 years of sabbatical leave to go anywhere in the world, finish your course, and then join back. And then based on the course that you have done, we will give you a nice role. And if that is a requirement in comp change, we will be able to do that as well. That's how we do. I think we'll go to Chennai campus. Yes.
Yes, sir. Chennai campus question. Please come. Wait, sir. Wait, sir. Please wait. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mihi 21BI1663 from Chennai campus. So my question is, if we get selected as Ninja in TCS, and sir, do we still have a scope to get promoted to Prime or Digital once we have joined as Ninja?
Yes, you have. I told you. So not just now, even before you graduate, you will have another chance to upgrade it from Ninja to Digital or Prime. After you graduate, there may be sometime a month, 2 months before we onboard. Again, we will have an opportunity until you complete 3 years with TCS. Right after joining, you have the opportunity to constantly upgrade yourself. Yes, so many opportunities available.
In the interest of time, we'll take 2 more questions.
Maybe here one question here. Yes.
Sir, can we have a mic?
Good afternoon, sir. Could you tell us social responsibilities held by TCS and what are the roles of employees on that?
Sorry, one is social responsibility.
Activities by TCS and what are the roles of employees on that?
Okay, so a few things, right? As I said, that's what differentiates the Tata Group, right? Giving back to society. So we focus on, you sort of seen that video, right? So we do few. One is empowering the marginal groups, right? Which could be through adult literacy, financial literacy, able to them to read and write, right? So that starts. Then second, the most important thing that we do is inculcating STEM skills, right? For students, right? Encouraging career in STEMs, right? That's another great idea that we would do. And we have our own, like if you join us, you go to the schools, you go to government schools, teach people maths, encourage them to pursue a career in science, technology, engineering, mathematics. So those are sort of things, right? That we do. Then even youth empowerment program, right? How do we create employability skills for a lot more people who are in the remote part of the country, don't have access to the best part of it, right? So that's the youth empowerment part of it. We encourage entrepreneurship, right? To be able to help them if you have in a village, you want to take in the strata business, women in the tribal areas to say, if you have a skill, how do we build it? Entrepreneurship. So the spectrum is huge and we have a choice to be able to do that. Even it can go even going and cleaning up a park, painting up a government school, right? Planting trees. So you could do a lot of these things. So there's a huge set of calendar that we publish, and based on our interest, we can participate. And what we encourage is every person spends at least minimum 10 hours in a year, 10 hours as a day, practically, in volunteering efforts. So that's something really we encourage and enable and facilitate. That's how we participate.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Harshal Nanda. I have previously done my internship at TCS Sirusuri in generative AI. I've worked with the agile methodologies. My question was that how does the rotation in TCS work? Like, how does one shift from one project to another project or another team group?
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, um, we typically recommend our associates, our employees to have a diversity of roles, diversity of experience. That's a broad, principle with which we operate. And therefore, there'll be supervisors and HR that will be able to guide you through changes to the project. So typically, when your project ends or when there is a logical time, for you to move on to a new role, you will have people to guide you, right, in terms of what opportunities are available, and you will have the ability to join. So that's a continuous process, right? So we tend to explore, a change in some way, shape, or form every 2 to 3 years at least, right? It could be sooner because the project is a much shorter duration, but generally 2 to 3 years in a role or in a particular customer is what we recommend.
Good morning, sir. I'm Jashandeep Singh. My question is to Shankar. Despite India being the IT capital and having mind-boggling numbers in places like Bangalore, Hyderabad, why isn't India able to leapfrog or lead the change in technologies like AI and machine learning?
See, the um, the actual technology itself, right? If you look at the companies like TCS, we ensure the use of the technology itself. But equally, if you look at TCS, the aspect that we didn't speak about is the innovation with respect to many technologies. We file patents, right, on newer technologies. There is definitely a lot to do for us to commercialize many of them at the scale at which some of the players like Microsoft, Google, and others, right, are doing, right? So if I understand your questions correctly, why is Microsoft or Google or, some of these? I think clearly, they have certain, they've gone, further along. There is a lot more, for us to be able to do. But the seeds are there, right? The seeds are being planted, right, by companies like TCS. We patent, we file a lot of patents with the newer, concepts, newer things, and we need to do a much, much better job of commercializing it. As a services organization, obviously we need to balance between how much of the energy and efforts that we need to drive, towards the services opportunity that itself is huge, for us in the marketplace, versus, something which probably is going to have a longer gestation. So you need to be invested in something like that for years and decades, right, before you can start, looking at. So those pilots are taking place. Those startup ventures are inside TCS, which are being funded, but we'll see, right? Over a period of time, we'll see, if they all, create newer opportunities for the Indian IT as a sector. Yeah.
To our colleagues at Amaravati and Bhopal. So do we have any questions? Probably we'll take one each from each of your centers. Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Anjali Eka, and as a person from non-CSE background, I wanted to ask what all opportunities can I look forward within TCS?
So I joined TCS without having a computer science background. So I did electrical and electronics. I joined TCS and I had the opportunity to learn. So we have one of the best initial learning programs. For those of you who have specialized in computer science, you may start somewhere. But those of you who have not been in computer science, it still is a great beginning, right? So the place where you start is doesn't matter. If you have the passion, if you have the aspiration, if you have the willingness to learn and experience, you will have the opportunity to get in and progress through your careers.
Okay. Thank you all for being the lovely audience. In the interest of time, we will close the Q&A session for today. But feel not, if you have many questions that you've not been able to ask, please leave them with Dr. Mani sir. We will be more than happy to respond to each and every question of yours. So with that, the journey of 1,000 miles begin with a single step. Let's remember that every great achievement starts with small, determined action. Let's ignite our passion, challenge our thinking, and together create something extraordinary. With these words, may I now invite Dr. Manikandan, Professor and Assistant Director, for the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Nivedita. I now request our Director, Career Development Center, to please, as a token of respect, to give a memento to Mr. Shankar Narayan. Please, sir. I now request our Director, sir, to give us a token of respect to Mr. K. Sudeep. Please, sir. So it's always been an honor to be part of this wonderful event. And on behalf of the VIT management, CDC, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest. Let me start with Mr. Shankar Narayan, sir. Your insight on keep the hunger to continuously learn I think I'm sure the generation is going to take it forward. Thank you so much, sir, for your deep insight and your presence here, sir. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank Mr. K. Sudeep. Is something which really to ponder on, verify facts and take decisions. So I'm sure the generation is going to take it forward. Thank you so much on behalf of the management and CDC, sir. Thank you. I would also like to express my gratitude to Mr. Ganesh, who is instrumental in making this event an amazing success. Thank you, Mr. Ganesh, for the great support and coordination. I would like to thank Mr. Vimal. Without you, there is no TCS event, for the amazing coordination and even always being there for us. Thank you, Mr. Vimal, for always being there for us. Thank you. I would also like to thank Ms. Nivedita. Thank you so much for being a great support and being there for us. Thank you. So a small instruction to the students. I request all of you to remain seated. Our director, sir, will be addressing you. So please remain seated. Thank you all.
Okay, before I talk, in case if you have any queries regarding the process of registration or the process, we have Vimal with us now. You can raise your hand and you can ask your question now. For those students who already have a CT number or a DT number, how to register, whether if you, there was a question from Channareddy Auditorium, if you have already registered, should I re-register? So in case if you have any queries on the registration portal, for which the link will be shared in the afternoon, do you have any queries on the process? No, please be free actually, so it's nothing. Yeah. Just can I just pass on the mic?
Good afternoon, sir.
My name is Charul, and I want to know about the timeline of the recruitment process.
Timeline of the recruitment process.
So you are asking about the timeline of the recruitment process throughout the entire process, or how you want to have?
For preparing for the test.
Okay, so the test will be around mid of September, and the interview will be around October first week.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I will just give you a quick introduction. So what I would request is like the reference IDs should be either CT 2023 or 2024 or DT 2023 or DT 2024. So this is the important point. The next one is you have to register with your personal email ID only. Suppose if you have already registered with your VIT ID, means you can just send the reference IDs to CDC. They will give back to us, and we will delete it, and you have to again recreate it. So that's the process. Okay. So any other questions?
Got a CT reference ID, that CT 2024 only. I attended the paid TCS and QT, that's why. So what
Sorry.
would be the process for me? I already got a CT reference ID.
Okay.
That is 2024 only.
Okay,
So
then
what
it's
would,
then
so
it's
like,
fine. You have to go. You have to fill the application form fully, and there will
okay,
at the last time there will be an option for us apply for drive. You have to click on it. Then you have to give your job preferences. There will be 3 job preferences. You have to choose the 3 different job preferences. Then you have to give the name reference ID to your CDC, because there will be a detailed email. Afternoon they will be sending it across to you.
okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, as there are 3 roles, so I want to know that will be notified that for which role we have been selected at the end or in the mid process only will be?
No. So post clearing the test itself, we will send the invite to the CDC stating that you are shortlisted for Ninja, or you have shortlisted for Digital, or you have shortlisted for Prime. Based upon that only, your interview also will be scheduled accordingly. No.
Hello. So it was mentioned that the test will be held online. So me
Yeah.
and my friends want to know ki we have to go to a center, or like can you
Yeah, most probably it will be in center one.
in center? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And you will also will give up the options also to choose whichever cities you want to prefer for the test center. Okay. So if not, means thank you so much for your time.
Okay, so this is going to be only a less than a 5-minute talk. So there are two things which you need to understand. So I am not here to market TCS. That's one thing. Second thing is I'm not here to scare you of what's happening right now in the industry market. I'm just trying to convey what is happening. So I have some little experience on the placements. I have been with VIT for the last 26 years, all through in placements. I have seen the upturn, downturn on the of the industry. So when we started our recruitments last year, I'll tell what happened last year and what's happening right now. See, last year the GCCs, what we call the Global Capability Centers, they all came. So what they have done is they have cut down on the campuses they visited, and they cut down on the numbers also when they visited VIT for placement. That you could ask your seniors. If they have hired about 50 students, they restricted themselves to 25. So our usual peak period is between July and August, and to some part of September till September 15th. We usually do about 5-6 companies on a given day. When we start with the recruitment process, we do 5-6 companies on a given day, which is not happening this year because we have invited. See, last year, though it was a downturn period, we were able to attract about 800 plus companies on campus. 847 companies have come and conducted the recruitments. So we still had the same rush, though the numbers were less, but we still had the same rush of companies recruiting from VIT. So again, this was an exception when we considered the other institutions. So having said that, talking about the TCS recruitment process. So as they said, you have an opportunity of upgrading themselves twice before you graduate and join the company. And if after joining the company also, you have an option. So the only challenge here is you will have to register before 18th of August. So once the registration is over, there is no re-registration for the process. Though the recruitment is going to happen after the 3rd week of September. The test will happen after the 3rd week of September. What we are trying to do is get maximum, whoever is confirming the process, we are giving them the date immediately so that we are accommodating all those companies as and when they confirm. Even if it is going to be a parallel process of 2-3 companies doing the process, we are doing that so that we end up with all the super dream companies before September 2nd week onwards. So this TCS process, test process will happen only in the after 3rd week of September. And by the time you complete the interviews and the results will be out only by most probably by end of October, because though the test is over, they take about 1 week for shortlisting. And after that, the interview scheduling happens after a week. And after the interviews, they take another week to confirm the offer. So you have a period of about 1.5 months to 2 months. So in case if you are thinking that I'm going to miss out on the TCS, I have many companies coming lined up. All that is not true. So you will be missing out on the opportunity of getting placed in case if you miss out on this opportunity. So my advice to you is, whoever is eligible, you may be a 9-pointer, but you still have an opportunity of attending this process, which will span for about 2 months. By the end of October only, we may get the results. Till then, you will be eligible to attend all the recruitment process, all the companies that come during the process also. In case if you are attending the interviews also, if there are companies that come and recruit, you will be still eligible for the process. So my advice to you is, if you are eligible for TCS, please register for the process and attend, because this year it's going to be a very, very challenging year. I don't know how many of you are aware. We have about 14,000 students across the VIT campuses who have registered for placements this year. Okay, and we are striving hard to get you a job offer, and we are sure that the market will revive after the US elections. There will be much more companies coming in. So our advice to you is, have an offer and then aspire for a bigger CTC or a marquee offer, which may come in the next semester once the elections are over. So I'll also give you an example. Yesterday we had the Dell process. So Dell has come and recruited 19 students. And they say the vice president is our alumni. So they said the last week they have laid off about 15,000 students across the globe. There's about 1,500 from India. The rest of it, the layoff is about 15,000 across the Dell offices across the globe. And their requirement is only 19 for the current year, which they recruited all 19 from VIT because he was our alumni. We didn't want to go to other campuses. So for this particular business unit which came, last time their hiring numbers were about 50, 60, which they for some 3-4 campuses and hired. For this particular campus, for this particular year, they had only about 19, which they did the hiring. Yesterday, they completed the hiring process itself. So again, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just telling you, this is an opportunity for you to register. And regarding the test process, we are persuading TCS to do the test in our campus. It may or may not happen because actually they have taken a step last year that the test will happen only in their test centers, which are called ION centers. So when you register, so there will be a drop-down link that will be given in the registration link. They have given a preference of 104 test centers. Okay, 104 test centers. When you fill the test center, you will have to also fill the state. There will be a drop down for test center and also a drop down for the state. So please ensure that when you fill in Chennai as a test center or Vellore as a test center, you put your state. And for those of you, because all of you are going to be there on campus, there was a question from one student. He said, I'll go and take the test in my hometown. Will you provide 3 days or 4 days of OD? So we are not here to encourage tourism at this point in time. So it is all serious business now. And what I suggest is for Vellore students, you have, there will be 2 or 3 options given. So the first option should be Vellore and second option should be Chennai. Okay, these are the nearby centers. So we are persuading TCS to do the test in one of our labs so that all of you can take the test in our labs. We are sending a formal request to them. So having said that, if there is if they are unable to accommodate you in the ION centers of Vellore, then you may have to travel to Chennai to take the test. We may or may not provide you the transport to go and take the test center. But this is 1 day trip. You can take it for your, so you might have made a lot of day trips to Bangalore, Pondicherry and other places. So this is 1 day trip that will define your career. So please, there are students who missed out on the test, and please don't come for the change of date or change of venue for the test. It is not in our hands. It is not in the TCS HR hands as well, because it is conducted by though it is their own sister concern, which is TCS ION. It is once scheduled, they will not change, and there is no rescheduling of test or time or the venue. So that please keep it in mind. So only request from our side, when we float this registration today, please ensure that all of you complete it, though the last day for registration is 18th. See, we want to send the first set of students registered list by Saturday morning, so that in case if there are any discrepancies or if you had made many mistakes, they will send it back to us so that we can communicate to you so that you can correct the registration form, whatever you have submitted. So though we give time till 18, please sit down. Tomorrow is a holiday. So please try to complete the registration by tomorrow so that we will send the first set of students who have registered by 16th and the second set by 17th. In case if there are any mistakes, we can always change it. The students from Chennai campus, you take Chennai as the first option for your test center. And students from AP, you can take Vijayawada. And for Bhopal, it will be Bhopal or Indore. So first option will be Bhopal, or second option will be Indore. Okay, the students who are seated in the other campuses. For the PG students who have gone for internships, if you are doing your internships in various locations, you can choose the location where you are doing your internship, so that you need not travel again to Vellore or Chennai or other places. If you are doing your internships in Bangalore, Hyderabad, or wherever it may be, you choose that as your this one. Okay. So in case for the PG students, again, if you have already got a internship offer, you are still eligible for TCS placement process. We will allow you to take the offer as well. Okay. Any queries? Any doubts? Okay. Any doubts regarding 2x mail that we have sent? See, for those PG students and other students who have got only Super Dream internship, I think we missed out on a line. You are still eligible to take a placement offer with a dream company or a regular company to keep that as a backup offer, which was already there. We will still continue that. See, the whole idea is not to punish you. Actually, the whole idea is all of us have to understand the current market scenario. We want to ensure that all of you get at least one job offer before you leave the campus. Okay, so that's what we are trying to do. It is no way, and giving you an option of 2x is, we expect the companies that have not come in this semester will come in the next semester, so that you have still option of upgrading your offers. Okay, any query regarding 2x from any other campuses as well? Okay, so this is the moment I think all of you are waiting for. Scan and take the attendance. So the attendance will be there for till 3 o'clock. So you are allowed to bunk classes till 3 p.m. Okay. So I hope all of you have understood the importance of attending the TCS process. Again, it is not a marketing pitch that I did. I just wanted to share the current scenario. Yes, the one last question, actually. Just give him a mic, actually. So another thing is, actually, I think we have already sent mail. We will not entertain any malpractice during the test process. So you are not allowed to carry any of your mobile phones into the test centers. If there is a OTP required to start the test, we'll have to inform the invigilator who is there, get the OTP, start the test, and you have to leave your bags outside with your mobile phones and other things. So no electronic gadgets are allowed inside. Let us be fair to others who are honest in taking the test. Okay, any malpractice or misbehavior, we take it very seriously because we follow a very transparent recruitment process. So please follow the instructions given by the placement coordinators and attend the recruitment process. And when we say you will have to come in formals, you will have to be in formals. And if you say selection process, the selection process always starts with the pre-placement talk. You'll have to be in formals for the pre-placement talk as well. Yeah, please.
Good afternoon, sir. So yesterday we had the GE Aerospace PPT, right? So I think there were like 5,000 students who were there in the list, but only 200, 300 got to join the PPT. And it was mentioned that we'll get OD from 1 hour before and 1 hour after the meeting ends. So will we be
So
getting that OD?
getting placed or getting OD or what?
So both. But I'm just asking out of curiosity. I have the attendance, but I'm just asking. Will we get OD for that? Because a lot of us tried to get into the meeting, but we couldn't.
Do you want OD 1 hour before and 1 hour after? Is that the question?
I'm asking if we are going to get.
I'm asking you actually. So
yes.
Okay. So that will be given. See, I am not bothered about this OD thing actually. See, I want all of you to get placed. That's the only thing I expect.
Same, sir. Same. Thank you, sir.
So Dana is here. So he is the one who takes care of the OD. The general instruction is 1 hour before, 1 hour after. So today I have already given 1 hour, 2 hours after now the process gets over at 1 o'clock. I have already given 2 hours after the presentation. Okay, because you are all very good audience today. So that's the incentive that you get.
Good afternoon, sir. My
Okay,
name
so
is...
she has an important question regarding OD. If you want to stay back, stay. Otherwise, leave.
No, sir. It is about, my name is Alorika. So I'm from Chemical Engineering branch. So, sir, when can we expect the core non-IT companies to come for the placement?
See, usually, as I told you during the orientation, most of the core engineering companies, they have gone for a just-in-time hiring. In the sense, actually, they want people to join them immediately after the recruitment. Going by the last couple of years trend, it happens during the 8th semester of your study. You will have to wait, but you take a dream offer and wait for the other offers.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you all.